welcome to InteriorInsights. I'm Jane and we are standing in Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, and today we're going to look at an absolutely insane historic apartment. So let's dive right in. This apartment is an absolutely historic gem, and there are three very unique design choices that I will get into today, so stay tuned. And if you want to see more incredible videos like these, subscribe to the channel because there's lots of more to come and they're only getting better, I absolutely promise. If you don't know me, my name is Jane and I'm an interior designer, and every single week on InteriorInsights we bring you the best and most incredible, unique and crazy design on the entire world. So let's get into it and explore this apartment. Now, we are already standing in the living room area of this incredible historic apartment. And even though it is an apartment, you would think that you are living in your own little house because it is 160 square meters and we actually have 2 floors. So what we will do is first we will look at the ground floor and then we will make our way all the way upstairs and look at another master bedroom as well as a gorgeous, incredible bathroom. We already just entered the living room through the kitchen that is behind me that we will take a look at in a second. And as soon as you enter this living room, it just opens up in front of you and it is absolutely incredible. You are kind of like transported in time. Now, when a lot of people think of Georgia, they think of great food, great wine, but they often forget that this was also a capital of incredible history and also incredible architecture. And what I really love about this living room is that we have this incredible historically preserved atmosphere. So the living room itself has a very classic layout, meaning that you enter in the center and in front of you, you have 3 incredible arches that open the doorway to the windows, and they just create this incredible repetition. And also round arches are very traditional and classic elements of Georgian architecture. And what really makes this apartment and design stand out from all of the others that I've seen here so far is the walls. I mean, just take a look at them. They're absolutely gorgeous. So what makes the walls so special is that they have this very historic patina, almost fresco-like design. And it just creates this very lively and incredible design because it isn't perfect. And this is what I always love so much about historic designs, is that they have a story that is to be told. The walls are still original from the 19th century and they have this very neoclassical design. As well as for the ceilings, we have this historical paneling that surrounds them, and on the top of the ceilings you can also see something that is very classical for historic Grand Georgian buildings, and that is that all of the corners are painted and have these little ornaments and little artworks placed inside them. And I just absolutely love uncovering all of these historic details. The designers really paid attention to preserve these historic details. On the ceiling, we obviously have some lamps and we have a giant, really large chandelier placed in the middle. But if you take a closer look, you see that the chandelier is very minimalistic. It is just made from arched and round metal beams. Now, you could place a very luxurious, very big chandelier in this living room and it would also look gorgeous, but then you would just much more take the attention away from the beautiful walls. What makes this living room and dining room area one of a kind is that the designers really derived the entire layout for the space from the historical structure of the place. So the floors are covered in this incredible herringbone parquet, which is absolutely incredible and super cool. And what really is the focal point of this incredible living room area are these 3 large round arches that just divide the room, and each of them are their own pathway to yet another room. And this is the room that I've been talking about that I'm absolutely in love with, but more on that in a second. So what is also really cool is that you can actually see that here we have modern herringbone parquet. Here in the middle we have a historical different type of flooring that is also made from wood. So you can really see all of the marks that the history had just by taking a look at the floor. And I am absolutely in love with this. And now, if you ever come and visit Tbilisi and take a stroll in the city, you'll notice that most of the buildings actually have these kind of extra rooms in front of the actual house. And this is that these parts, so the part that I'm standing in right now, actually formerly used to be a balcony, like many of the other apartments that we have in the city. And they have basically been framed in glass and turned into kind of like a Wintergarden part of the house, just to extend the extra living space, and it is really cool. And this is exactly the same thing that happened here. And I'm really in love with this unique type of architecture that we can find in the city, because it just creates this very natural and unique charm. So completely surrounding us, we have this glass facade that is framed by a wooden structure, which is also quite unique and which is super cool. And the wooden structure just repeats the original architecture. So on both sides, we have these round arches. But the proper living room, of course, is here. It's time for your favorite part of the tour, and that is our color palette analysis. So this apartment has a simple yet very delicate and layered color palette. The apartment feels atmospheric as soon as you step inside, and the entire space is built around one core color, this bluish green, strongly patinated color. The walls aren't flat or clean, they're layered, textured, almost time-worn, and this is what immediately creates this depth within the design. And then all of the different colors of wood just add this warm counterbalance to the color palette, and it is always really important when you have colder colors in your design to counterbalance them with some warmer ones to stop the home from feeling cold. And if you want to avoid the 5 mistakes that 90% of people make when it comes to color, I've created a free guide just for you that also shows them how to fix it. Go get it right now, because it won't be free forever. You can get it either by clicking the link in the description or by scanning this QR code over here, by taking out your phone, opening the camera app, pointing it at the QR code, and it will just redirect you directly to the guide. In between the arches, we have 2 gorgeous historical mirrors hanging. And then to both sides of this kind of invisible pathway, we have once the sofa area, so a blue sofa that just derives and repeats the gorgeous historic blue color of the walls. And then we have 2 different chairs that I really love, because they really just come from different styles and epochs, and they just create this tension within the design. And then on the other side, we have the large dining room table, and here we just have all of these different wooden accents that just create this really warm and calm, nurturing counterpart to the blue walls that sometimes feel a little bit colder. And one thing that is really interesting is that the color blue, so whenever you have blue walls, it's actually quite cool, because blue walls visually recede, meaning that they make the room appear much larger. This is also one of the tricks that I talk about in the color course, and of course where I go into it in much more depth. Now, let me take you to the kitchen. And over here we have the kitchen. I really like this kitchen because the designer managed to turn kind of an awkward space that is like right beneath the staircase into a very comfy and cozy and heartfelt kitchen. This apartment actually has quite the strange floor plan, and I believe that the reason why it has one is just because we have this historical architecture, and in the former times the rooms, you had much less rooms, but they were always super big, and I think that here they just redivided the space. And so you have some awkward situations, but the designers really fixed them beautifully. So for the kitchen, we have a large kitchen counter that goes from one side to the other side, and it is kind of hidden underneath the staircase. And that is not a problem, because we don't actually need any space or so much space above the kitchen counter. And the kitchen is covered with a gorgeous historical marble that is really thick, and it feels very luxurious. And I love it whenever people don't just use the basic white Carrara marble that of course looks beautiful, but I love it when they dare to try a more unique stone or to do something more unconventional. And I absolutely love how this luxurious marble is paired with these copper-like panels that just create this like metally, a bit more industrial look and feel to the design. Now, whenever you have a more tight space, it is always a great idea to opt for rounder tables and round pieces of furniture, because they just save you so much space at the corners. And so here in the center of the room, on top of the carpet, to just create this more cozy space, we have a large round black table that visually recedes and almost seems like it's kind of hiding away. And around it we have very contemporary modern wooden chairs. And you can just really see this change of atmosphere amidst the design, because here we have a much more European design, and we just kind of forget for a minute that we are standing in a historical, traditional apartment building, which is cool. And this is also one of the unexpected design choices that I was talking about earlier. But now here is the real interesting thing. So here you might ask yourself, you have a kitchen, but where's the fridge? And instead of having a big ugly fridge that kind of destroys the entire design and just doesn't work in the design story, inside this cabinet, when we open it, we actually have an integrated fridge. And this is just a small but really thoughtful thing that I love, because to be honest, I really hate it when people spend so much money designing their space and turning it into this incredible masterpiece, and then they just put like a big washing machine in the center of it and just pretend like nobody sees it. Now here we are in the entirely white stairway that I really love, because it is super gorgeous, because it has just been painted entirely in white, and you just have this very clean and minimal way up to the top floor. And here we already are. And here in the entryway, or the pre-room of the second ensuite bedroom, we have a small reading area with a small lounge chair. And here we can again see this very traditional Georgian attic-like design, which I really love. So this is the second bedroom, and it is actually the largest by far, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And when I first came in, it actually kind of reminded me of Scandinavian design, because you just have this very clean, white, crisp design. And also on top of the bed, there is this gorgeous triangular lamp. To be honest, I'm not sure why it is hanging above the bed. If I could choose, I would hang the lamp in this corner and put a small reading table under it, and I think it would create a very beautiful little area, but that doesn't really matter. So what is incredible about this bedroom is that we have all of these little design surprises that I will show you, that I already promised you. And what I love is that we have all of these small windows lined up next to each other. They create this very long line. And every single one of these small windows you can just open and take the outside in. And again, you are just really connected with nature. And having all of these very small wooden windows is also a very Georgian thing. You see them in a lot of apartments, or when you walk down the streets, you see them in a lot of facades. And over here, we have a small minimal bed. To one side, we have a wooden bedside table. To the other side, we actually have a tiny, tiny wooden chair that acts as a bedside table. And I think that this is just such a fun solution. And this is just also really a reminder that you don't need to be too serious when you design your space. Before I show you my favorite bathroom, let me show you some small hidden design secrets. So over here, behind this wall, we actually have a hidden shelf. And because we are standing in the attic, I believe the attic was at some point turned into a proper room. But here, behind this wall, we actually have the tilt of the roof that continues. And so the designers had to get creative, and so they created this box design that hides tilted shelves underneath it. And this is just a small example that shows you how much attention and love was poured into this apartment. Or another thing that I really love is that here, underneath the windows, we have two, I think they're just IKEA shelves that are placed and integrated into the walls, because we had all of this extra space from the tilted roof. But then here you go, you just have a lot of abundance of space that just hides away and disappears into the wall. And these are just really cool small design hacks that just make the design really stand out. Now let me show you the gem of this apartment, and that is the bathroom. So I'm really surprised if you will like it as much as me. Comment if you do, or comment if you hate it, because in reality, it is just quite a small, tight, neat bathroom. But what makes it stand out is that it has been covered completely from floor to bathtub to ceiling in this gorgeous foxy orange brown. And it just creates this very strong statement. And it's simple, but it's really profound, and I'm absolutely in love with it. And even a simple statement like this can look cheap if it is not executed properly, but the designers really paid so much attention to it, and they even crafted a small little niche inside the wall to put your shampoo bottles, and it just creates this very thoughtful and incredible gesture and design. And I think it is the absolute favorite part of the apartment. Comment to let me know if you like it or if you hate it. I personally really love this. Now we will walk into the ensuite primary bedroom that has its own bathroom, and this bedroom is just incredible because surrounding it we have all of these historic windows, and when you take a look outside you just have these incredible Georgian Tbilisi architecture, and the architecture is absolutely incredible because you always have these main buildings and then basically everybody, or that's what it looks like to me, everybody just built their own things around it, or like turned their balcony into another room or didn't do that, and it just creates this very eclectic design. This bedroom is also very minimal, and the walls are kept in a much more softer, muted, almost beige gray color that just sets the calm undertone of the design. And I love that we have this more angular room where the bed can be tucked kind of inside a nook. And to both sides we have rattan bedside tables, and it just creates this very cozy atmosphere in this large room. And when you wake up, you just look outside into the gorgeous view, and there's a really large tree standing outside, and it looks super cool. And here you can see a really strong shift of atmosphere because here we don't have any blue details. And you probably wouldn't guess it, but over here, right next to the cupboard, we actually have a very, very slim door, and this is where the bathroom is hiding. And the bathroom even has its own bathtub, and it's actually a very large space by itself. And this bathroom is what just ties the design of the ensuite bedroom right back into the history, because it is completely covered in these dark indigo tiles, and the color indigo, so this gorgeous blue color, actually used to be my absolute all-time favorite color for a really long time. It just shifted, but I'm not really sure to what yet. And because we have these super, super high walls, it just really creates this very strong statement. And then for the vanity, we have a historic wooden sideboard that has been transformed and turned into the perfect countertop for the two sinks. Next to the kitchen, there is a hallway that leads us into both of the bedrooms in the ground floor. It is a small, neatly tucked bedroom. The walls are also painted in this very soft pastel blue color that just kind of references the grand living room but doesn't want to overwhelm, and it just creates this very calm space to calm down at night and read a book. And because we are in a historic building and in the historic part of Tbilisi, we have these very large windows, and when you look outside you just have all of these historic facades looking back at you, and it is just an absolute magical feeling. Other than that, this bedroom is quite minimalistic. We have a clean white bed and a very small artwork placed on top of it. I actually think it's almost funny how small the artwork is. It's like, juk! And this vintage style is repeated again over here, because here we have yet again another lamp, and I always love these like historical oil lamps because they just create this very cool and soft industrial design. Also, if you're interested in color and want to learn how to create an incredible color palette, check out my color course or my free color resources in the link in the description. Now, let me show you how much love was poured into all of these bathrooms. Now, bathrooms. I'm always really interested in how people actually design their bathrooms, because these are usually the spaces that people pay the least attention to. And I don't understand this because everybody, like every single one of your guests, will always see your bathroom. So I think there should be some love poured into it. What I love about this bathroom is that it is completely white and super minimalistic, so that the entire attention goes into these gorgeous marble tiles that are draped all the way until the top of these really high walls. And it just creates this really strong yet minimal statement. And I absolutely love that here we have again the blue color sided that we have in the living room, that we have in the bedroom. And it just creates this very minimalist yet absolutely incredible energy in space. So if you love this video, like and subscribe, because there are many more incredible apartments to come, and we have much more incredible videos, so go watch them now. And if you want some free incredible design resources that I've created for you, scan the QR code or click the link in the description.